I've been practicing in Venezuela since 1982, but basically I've been a writer and an architectural critic. But since the year 2000, we created what is called Fundación de la Memoria Urbana, which is an NGO, a non-profit organization that is dedicated to the preservation and conservation of urban memory in the cities of Venezuela. And that task has been undertaken by me and a group of people that do not work every day, but act as advisors for our foundation, and people that work in the field of preservation for many years, like Graciano Gasparini, which was the founder of the Instituto del Patrimonio Cultural, the creator. And then we also have people that come from the fields of poetry, like Luis Alberto Crespo, or for instance, professors of architecture from Universidad Simón Bolívar, like Lorenzo González Casas, and we have also Carlos Fernando Duarte from the Museo de Arte Colonial, the actual director of which is a beautiful museum dedicated to the colonial art, and it's a house and architecture of the time also. That foundation started from a moment when in Venezuela there was not much awareness about the preservation of modern architecture. We decided to start. We didn't know exactly what we were doing at the moment. We created the foundation in order to do a list, the first list in the country to preserve modern architecture. A list is a heritage list. It's a list of important works of architecture and works of pieces of urban art and urbanisms and urban spaces that were done during the first half and the mid part of the 20th century that weren't, in the year 2000, weren't designated or weren't recognized as works of art or as pieces of building that could belong to the preservation field. And we started with a building that was very important and that was demolished in the year 1999, which was the Galipan building. And the people in the community surrounding the Galipan building, but also the whole of the city, were outraged by the situation of seeing how the building was going to be demolished, even though all of them acted in the newspapers with a big campaign against its demolition in order to preserve it, and there was no way in which it could be saved. In December 2000, it was torn down, and in January we decided to do this foundation. The building couldn't be saved, but there was a big awareness arising that was in the community, and we could start from that to depart a new era, we can say that, in the city, in order to understand that Caracas and most of the cities of Venezuela are cities that grew and that were built and densified in the modern era. So the heritage in our country, in our cities, of course we have colonial architecture and we have indigenous past and we have many things from the 19th century, but the main attraction or the main richness of our city's urban fabric is modern. So we did the list. Finally, around the year 2005, we were commissioned by the main heritage organization institution in the country. It's an official institution called Instituto del Patrimonio Cultural, and they commissioned us to do this official list, which as a first list in the field was barely the designation of things that were in the capital of the country that had a status of an artwork, a piece of architecture that was outstanding and should be preserved. Of course, we weren't entitled to officially design the declaration of that building as an actual monument. But we were proposing to the institution which things should be in the list. So we arrived to 2,000 designations, and we ended in the year 2007. And we walked through all the 5 boroughs of the city and also the state of Vargas, which is an ancient Caracas borough, and now it's called Estado Vargas, but which is part of the history of the city. And so we walked the city, the whole of the city. We toured the 5 boroughs and the state Vargas, and we decided, based upon the behavior of the buildings in the city and the quality of the ornaments and the quality of the architecture in general, and of course their pedigree in terms of the very few that we knew that were built by or done by the known architects of the modernity of Venezuela. Then we started making this big list, and then based upon the database of the Instituto Patrimonio Cultural, we refurbished that list, and we fostered a bigger database that included the new bibliography that was done in the last 30 years, and of course our point of view, because our foundation is called Fundación de la Memoria Urbana, which is Foundation of Urban Memory. We do not believe in landmarks as single objects in the city. We believe in pieces, in fragments, and in episodes of urban fabric and urban history. So buildings seen as a part of a whole chapter of the history of the city. So based upon on those issues, that was the way in which we made the list. So at the same time, the important thing was that at the same time that we were doing that thing, it was designated a new architect as director of this Instituto del Patrimonio Cultural, which, as I said, is the main office in the country that is in charge of the whole of the heritage of the country.